Hi and welcome to Dressage and Lightness Online. I'm Leanne Williams and today we're out here with Alfie. Alfie is a 10-year-old thoroughbred who has just arrived for up to 4 weeks training with us. So obviously he's 10 and he's raced and he has had a career as a pony club, adult riding club horse for the last few years, and the people that have brought him to us, and I'm just letting him move around because he's just not ready to stand yet, it's all a bit, he's here for these reasons. The people that have brought him to us for some work have just purchased him. They've had him 2 months and they are having major troubles with getting on him. So the little girl that owns him, who's not particularly old, has already had a couple of falls, and he has from what I can understand, some major mounting issues. So even I look at him here and I think, well, you know, I don't want to get on this horse at the moment because I need a horse that's happy to walk up here and to stand and to be relaxed. So the first thing that we're going to teach him is to be happy in his own skin, and that's really important. So he's not a bad horse. I can see in his little face he's got a really sweet eye. He's just very unsure about what his boundaries are and where and how he should you know, maintain himself. And so what we're going to do over the next few weeks is give him clarity into those things and make him a happier customer and tell him he's okay. Tell him the world's not a bad place. So we may as well get going. Now the first thing that we'll work on with him is the cavesson work. Even though he's here for mounting, we need to actually teach him to be patient and to stop moving his legs, because we can't obviously get on if we can't get him to stop moving his legs. And you know, little girls are going to be thrown around by these kind of horses. So we'll do all our initial training with the cavesson on. Now he's never had a cavesson on before and my suspicions are he's not going to like it. Good, there's my first deep breath. My suspicions are he's not going to like it. So we err on the side of caution all the time when we work with these horses. Now this is the point where I will just remind everybody, please go to our how-to section prior to doing these things yourself. We've got a very descriptive explanation on how to fit the cavesson and how to use the cavesson. Once I'm here, I talk a lot about working with the horses, but it is important that you know before you do it how exactly it should be used. So I'm actually just going to do a little bit of work with just with the halter on, because he is familiar with the halter, and I want to see if I can get him to lower his neck a little bit. Good. I'm just going to hold my hand on the top of the cavesson so we can start to feel that there's going to be a little bit of pressure on his nose, and you can see already that pressure worries him, and so we need to get the relaxation to that pressure. And I'm just going to stay here. He's not to keep doing that. I'm not going to go away, but I've also got the pressure on the halter. Whoops, I just dropped my whip. I've also got the pressure on the halter because I do know that he knows how to respond to a halter. So if I can join the two things together in his mind, then I am going to have a quicker inroad into getting him to comprehend what I want. So I'm just going to very quietly stand here with some pressure on both positions. And this is not, I'm not pulling his head down by any stretch of the imagination, but I do need him to stretch. Now when he turns sideways again, you'll see that he actually has got quite an inverted way of standing. Now I mean inverted as in the muscles on the top line of his body are much shorter than the muscles on the bottom line. So that means he doesn't have the carrying muscles. So those are the things that hit me in the face straight away, that we would like to help him understand how to use his body differently. Good boy. And understand how we can help him to develop a better musculature. Good boy. So you can see he gets a little bit cross here. But we have to actually go through these phases. So all horses go through 3 major phases in their process of learning, and the first one's worry. So he's a bit worried about his new environment. The second one is anger or frustration or confusion, and they have to get through anger and frustration to get to acceptance. And so I need him to accept the fact that I can lower his head. Yeah. Lower his head. Good. With the cavesson, and that's going to take a bit of time. You can see his concentration isn't great. It's all over the place. And saying that this is his first day. Good, I can feel him breathing, and he just quietly starts to let down. There we go. There's the big breath start to come out now. Yeah, and then he'll flick back into go away, and that's okay. He can flick back into go away, but there's a bit of mobility of the jaw. Every time he flicks back into go away, it'll be a little less. So we're just Getting him quietly to let down. Good boy. And if this is his lesson for today, then this is his lesson for today. Yeah. Because the cavesson does have a piece of metal over the nose, and we don't want to scare him in the slightest. Good boy. Good. And once I start to get some breaths and some chewing, then I'll take the lead. Then I'll take the lead rope. Good man. Off the halter, and I'll add it to the ring on the front of the cavesson. Good. I just need him not to care. One of the big things here is these horses, you don't want to give them a fright. Good boy. They need to stay confident. Yeah. Very good, man. Very good. So you can see as he's starting to let down, he wants to contract, so how he pulls his neck in. So that will be another thing that we work on, is that because we don't have any lengthening in the body. You're okay. It's just a car coming down the driveway, sorry. When they're in their first stages, there's the chewing. They can't actually deal with two things at the one time, which would be the car coming down the driveway. Oh, good man. Car coming down the driveway and me asking this with the cavesson. That's fabulous. That's fabulous. Good. So I'm just going to let him stand for a minute. You can see straight away how even starting to get the stretch, we square the legs up. And we start to lower the head, lower than the wither, and that gives us the relaxation endorphins start to be released. All of these things are real good, boy. All of these things are really important. So when you've got a horse with a mounting issue, it's not actually about the mounting, it's about the mind. And so if we play with the mind a little bit more and we look at the signals the horse has to offer us, so you're going to look at his bottom for the minute, but I'll just let him move around, then we start to comprehend. Good boy. Good boy. We start to comprehend why there's a problem. And for us, a lot of the time, the problem is not what the horses come here for. The problem that stem from other places, and generally it stems from not being able to stand patiently, not understanding, and if that's not taught to them, someone's got to spend the time to teach them. Good. Very good boy. So this is great. I just would like to get his poll a little bit lower than his wither, and once we've got that, yeah, then I'm going to put the clip on the cavesson. Good. Because you can see, I've just had a little bit, he's getting a little bit used to this feeling of this different piece of material over his nose. Yeah, you can do all of that. Once again, you can do all of that. I'm not going away. It's always the trickiest the first couple of days. There's the breathing again, in getting them to, understand that this isn't going to hurt them. It's not dissimilar to having a bit in their nose, a bit in their mouth for the first time. You've got to take the time to familiarise them with it. Getting them familiar will, good boy, will make them not worry about it. Yeah. I know. I'd like that flick, because what happens if I have that clip on it and he does that flick, it'll whack him in the nose. Yeah. Look at his eye. Got angry. That's a good thing. So that means he's got to the next phase. Had a little worried eye before, and now it's got a bit softer again, but it's gone a bit angry. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It means we're working our way through the three phases. You're not doing that. So next time he lowers, I'm going to swap the clip over. Good man. Good. So I just put on and off pressure here, very light on and off pressure. Getting it, whoops, I've dropped that whip again. Getting him to let his neck down. Yeah, good man. You ready for me to do it? Just get that pole lower. Good, there we go. There we go. So we're on to the clip now. You're okay. So we look at a little bit of his conformation. We see that he's very contracted through this brachiocephalic muscle here, and we've got a big dip in front of the wither. So they're the carrying muscles, and so we need to get this brachiocephalic muscle to let go, and we've got nothing around either side of the wither here, the trapezius, that's your thoracic trapezius, and then through into your longissimus muscles, which are your backline muscles. So we need to get him to use those. You know, to make riding pleasurable for him, his body needs to be in a certain way to, good boy, in a certain way to be able to carry the rider and carry the saddle comfortably. There's the first deep breath. And so we just, you know, in our first day of schooling, we're exposing him to where, yep, that's that little pull-up. So I'm just going to hold, normally we would hold the clip, I'm just holding it back here, so it will slide. When he pulls up, it's going to slide through my hand. Very gently, we ask for, yep, for him to come down and lower. Good. Yeah, I know. And I mean very, very gently. He wants to move his legs. I can actually say with my whip, I need you to stay back over there. But very gently, yeah, until he gets confident. The worst thing that can happen is that you've got the horses pulling back. Good. Good. The cavesons can be extremely dangerous to the horses if used incorrectly. So very, very, very gently. Good. Very gently. We're coming down, yep. Now his breathing's got very short and shallow. He's still moving his legs. He's trying to figure out how he can get away. The flight mechanism. The flight mechanism doesn't have to be at the gallop. Flight mechanism is just the moving of the legs. Guess what happens when people go to get on him? The flight mechanism. Good. So I've just swapped sides. As he's moved around, I've just swapped sides. He's trying to figure out how he can get away here. Now what I do, no matter where he goes with his legs, I put his head and neck directly here, good boy, directly in front of his shoulders. Because the only thing I want him to do at the moment is to give me some stretch. Now there's the contraction. Oh, there's another breath, good man. The only thing I'm not looking for from him, yeah. So if that's all he can give me at the moment is the contraction, well, we're going to go with that. Good, I'll keep his head and neck directly in front of his body. Good. And we're looking for the stretch. Great. Great. Head and neck directly in front of his body. Good. He wants to move his legs, that's okay. But he takes his head and neck with him. Yeah, very good. Excellent. Oh. And so this is lesson number 1. How to teach the horse to understand caveson. It's a really lovely lesson for them to learn. You can see how much squarer he's standing now. By getting the stretch, it pulls the back legs up into a square position. Good, now he's moving. I'm going to keep his head and neck directly in front of his shoulders. Yep. Good. Good. Quietly ask for the stretch. Very good. Very good. Ah, good man. I still haven't got a lot of jaw mobility and the breathing most of the time is still quite shallow. I would like him to take big, long, deep breaths. Yeah. Big, long, deep breaths. Good. Yep, now he's moving the shoulder the other way. He's just trying to figure out, good, you can see this neck getting longer. All I would like to see is the pole can come lower than the wither. Well done. And I would like to have the mobility of the jaw. He crunches with his teeth. He's not actually, at least it's moving, but it's not a relaxed move. It's a little bit more of an anxious kind of move. Good. You can also see now that I've gone up to holding the clip. He's stopped that violent head flicking back. Oh, good. There, look at the square halt. Yep. Then he snatched forward and he lost the left front leg. It was just a moment. There we go. But it's getting squarer and squarer. Yeah, I know. Right, so now we're into impatience. So we're past fear. So this is actually a really good sign. So he's showing me that he's not worried anymore. He doesn't want to try and get away in the flight mechanism. But we can start pawing the ground. Yep, now you've got his bottom. He'll keep moving and I'm keeping his head and neck directly in front of his shoulders. That's right, there's no escape. There's no escape from relaxation. There's the first deep breath, or the second. Generally that's followed quite quickly with a proper mobilisation of the jaw. Generally, not all the time, but generally you'll get the breath, then the mobilisation. He didn't give us the mobilisation, so I'm still looking. It means I'm not there yet, and I would like to get the breath before we finish today, the breath and the mobilisation. Good. Very good. Yeah, I know, mate. Great, and the reach. You can see him contracting. Oh, there's our first flick again. He's gone back to being cross. Good. Good, very good. There's the reach. He's coming back quicker and quicker. Well done, mate. I know, it's a tough gig, isn't it? It's a tough gig. So we get the stretch again. Good. Good, and the lengthen. Oh, good boy. There's the chew. There's the chew. Good, I'd like it to be more relaxed. Let go of his jaw. That's great. You're okay. You're okay. And let the neck down. Good. Very good, you're okay. Good, let the neck down. Oh, good man. It's a car coming down the driveway, but he dealt with that one much better. You know, he's got a lot to deal with today. We've got kids camp starting, so lots of activity. Yeah, I just keep the head and neck. It's interesting that there's a fair bit of backwards thought processes in his responses, backwards and sideways. So we want to change that a little bit. Good. And let the neck down. Good. Very good. There's another good breath. I'd like to have that finishing off with a chew as well. Yeah. I'm just going to follow him. I can't ask him to do anything at this stage because he's doing too many things on his own without being asked. So we have to wait for a little bit of patience. This is interesting how much more the backwards is coming. So you can see why, you know, the children feel unsafe. You've got a horse that's not thinking even the slight, there's the chew. The horse that's not even thinking the slightest bit forward. Good. Good, and lengthen. Good. And straight. I need to straighten he's doing this with his own right shoulder. So he's already telling me he's a left bend horse. This is always starting to diagnose all of these things. Well done, mate. There's the chew. Good. Good, and lengthen. Fabulous. And lengthen. Good. I'm saying in my mind what I want him to do, which is lengthen. That's not go through the right shoulder, that's lengthen. Yeah, great. Good boy. Good boy. So I'm going to leave him here for today. I think that's a great session. There's a little bit more tomorrow. We'll be able to make huge inroads into his relaxation and his ability to stand still, but I'm very happy with that finishing off posture. So we will see you again tomorrow with Alfie's second session and into getting him to happily allow his rider to ride him.